All right, I had a comment here. I'm trying to do this tutorial. My project is saying 35 minutes. Exclamation mark. Complete newbie. Can you help me? So I asked her to send me the actual file, and yeah, so we're gonna look at LightBurn and look at how to speed up settings here. Okay, so let's see. If I just have like a circle, right? There's not much I can do, right? It's just the laser's gonna come here or start right here, according to mine, because it starts from current position, and just do the circle. Let's see. Yeah, that looks about right. Maybe 10 speed, 100 power, one pass, right? Cut that circle out of 1/8 inch acrylic, right? Okay, so that's usually not an issue. So we can hit the preview button up here. Let's bring that down just a little bit. Okay, preview looks like a little monitor up here. Hit that. Okay, it takes 16 seconds. Okay, so let's make something a little more complex, and then we're going to make it even more complex later. So let's say I have a plaque here. I'm going to say it's my veggies, right? And I'm going to pretend like I know how to spell. There we go. Okay. So this is the veggies. Okay. Could be my I don't know what's a vegetable. My broccoli. And then this one, okay, let's actually make it a corner. Let's okay. Oh, now we're going to make something for real. Okay. I'm let's see. Let's do a whoops, there we go. And let's see. Let's do two of those. Okay, so let's make this a little bit bigger here. Okay, Control C, Control V. Grab this point, connect them. Grab both these. The center point right here. There we go. Okay, I'm going to make this a little bit skinnier. Let's see, hold down Control. There we go. Okay, a little taller. All right. So take this, hold down Shift, and difference it. Hold down Shift, difference it. All right, so now we got these little spikies that go in the ground, right? Okay, so this one's going to be broccoli, okay? And we're going to rotate this, hold down, let's see what is it, Shift? Yeah, Shift, okay. And then put it in the center, wait till it locks, there it is. Make it a little bit bigger. Let's see, hold down Control, there we go. And bring it up, hold the Shift, okay. So these are broccoli. Let's make this a little bit skinnier. Oh, Control, there it is, hold down Control. Cool. Okay, and so let's Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V. Okay, so I've got a few of these to make, right? I guess before we get too far, yeah, we'll look at that. Okay, yeah, we'll look at this, and then we'll look at, because it's going to be different. Let's say it's a little bit wider, right? Maybe you're doing a plaque. That's going to be a fatty, a fatty sign here, plus another little one. Okay, so let's take all these, put them on an engraving layer. Okay. And then let's nest them together. There we go. Okay, grab the corner. Okay, well, let's actually, before I do that, before I get clever, right? Let's just look at this. Okay. So these are about 8 inches tall, right? They'll stick in the ground, and looks like about 5 inches will stick out. So it'll show all this stuff. Let's look at how long it'll take to do this. I guess we should set this first. So speed, maybe, yeah, 120 was actually fine. Like maybe 50 power for the engraving. Every 0.1 millimeter, that's decent. Okay. So let's look at the preview. This is going to take me 58 minutes to do. Okay. Takes quite a while. Okay. So you'll see these red lines. This is where it's traveling and not actually cutting, right? So I've also got my cut and my engrave in the wrong order. But the red line starts down here. I can zoom in. It's going to move over here. Looks like it's going to cut all this. Actually, I guess I can move the line here. So, yep. As I move this line, it shows me exactly what it's going to do. So it cuts that, it cuts this, and you'll see it cuts along this. Even though it's already cut, it's still cutting along that line, right? So there's no point for us to cut this line twice. Okay? Because it's already cut when it cut this little label out, right? So I go over here, and then it cuts out the big one, it cuts out this one, then it starts engraving, right? So it actually engraves this one, skips there, you can see by the red, skips here, like skips all the way over here, starts engraving again, right? And so One clue that this is taking up a ton of time is you have your cut distance and your rapid moves. Cut distance is when it's actually like engraving. So when it's over a black line, it's actually cutting, right? It's actually doing something it's supposed to. Rapid move, that means it's moving to the next point where it should cut. Now this is, well, almost never going to be 0. If you did a square in the corner, it could be 0. But rapid moves are going to exist, but that's way too much. So it's spending 11 minutes, 40 seconds cutting, and it's spending 46 minutes moving to the next cut. Ridiculous, right? Okay. So let's do something a little bit to fix it. First of all, I'm going to organize this. So I'm going to wait till it shows a crosshair. There we go. Grab the corner and lock it into that. Cool. Same thing here. Lock it into that. Okay. So now I'm using way less material, and let's take a look here. So we've saved about 20 seconds. Okay. Not a huge save so far. So we're still at 46. Oh, no, I guess it was at 54 or something. It was 46 rapid. So I guess we've saved quite a bit. So what are we at? We're at 34. Okay. So we saved a little bit of time instead of 54 minutes altogether. We're at 46. Okay. So one thing we can do is go to optimization settings and remove overlapping lines. Okay. So before I do that, let's take another close look at the preview. Okay. So as I'm moving this over, right, it cuts this one and it cuts this. Oh, and now it's starting to follow that line that I already cut, right? And it goes around, cuts this big guy, and again starts to follow that line it already cut. Okay, let's fix that by going to optimization settings, remove overlapping line. So first of all, what are we at? 4609. Okay. Optimization, remove overlapping lines. Hit OK. And 4523. So we just saved, what is that? 40 seconds. Not a huge save, but it's gonna stop a little bit of charring on the backside, and like now it just cuts it once, right? So starts over here, cuts this next one, goes over here, cuts this, right? Doesn't repeat the line. I should also get this in order. My bad. There we go. Okay, now these, if we take a close look, it's got all this red to skip over, right? When it's this close, it's not that big of a deal. But when it goes all the way over here, that's a little tough. So what we can do is open up this right here, and we can do fill groups together, right? So instead of like starting here and going all the way across the engraving and coming back, it's just going to work on one group at a time. So before I change that, what are we at? 4521. Going to go in here, change that to fill groups together. So 4521 turns into 20 minutes, 41 seconds, right? So half the time now. So instead of like engraving and coming over here and having to jump, right? So it's removing all the jumping. So just going back and forth, mainly focusing on where there's still a bit of red, but not nearly as much. So we'll see we're at 5 minutes 58 seconds of just moving, while it's still 14 minutes 42 seconds of actual cutting, right? So we're doing a lot better now. 20 minutes is a lot better than, what was it, 40, 46, whatever, 45 minutes. Okay, so we're looking better. Now, this is where we sort of get, let's see, how do we say this? We're sacrificing maybe some quality for speed. So we can go to advanced and hit flood fill. Now, what it's going to do typically is, I'm going to hit cancel here, is it's going to go back and forth, right? Like along this whole thing. The issue is this circle here, it's engraving this part, but it's skipping all this white space and then starts engraving it again, comes up, engraves this, skips all this white space, starts engraving. So with flood fill, what it'll do is it'll come up, and then anything that's not a short skip, it'll just start engraving back and forth, okay? And then it'll fill this in, and then it'll come back and do just this line. So right now we're at 20 minutes, 2041 with 558 of rapid, so about 6 minutes of rapid. So 2041 with about 6, okay? Open this up, hit flood fill. So 2048 with 6. Now we're at 1923. So this was 6 minutes. Now it's 2 minutes, right? Okay. But the cut distance went up. And that is because there is acceleration and deceleration in the laser. Laser's not instantly full speed, okay? So it's going to take a little longer on the cut time to accelerate, but it's actually like doing the cutting. So instead of being like 15 minutes or whatever it was, we added 2 minutes to the actual cut time because that is to accelerate and decelerate. But it's not skipping all this red stuff anymore, right? Okay. So we're at 20 minutes, 40 seconds, whatever. Now we're at 19 minutes, 23. So we didn't save a ton of time, but you might get, I mean, try it out, okay? Like, try this out on one of these, and you might see, because as the laser comes back and starts doing this, when it doesn't do it all together, the lines don't always connect perfectly, and you'll see, like, a start point and an end point. So you might have some ghosting, some artifacts in the engraving. So maybe not, might not be worth doing this here. Okay, so there's that, right? So let's take a look at one more thing. Okay, so we did this, and I'm going to, let's see, I guess I should have named them all broccoli, whatever. But I guess broccoli is our only vegetable in our lazy garden here. Okay, so let's say we have this, okay? Let's see, let's say we have, actually, hello space friend. Okay, making something for our neighbor that goes on top of the pie or something, right? Okay, let's set this back all to, let's see, no flood fill. Let's see, do groups, that's fine. Fill all shapes as one, fill groups together. Because it's one group, it's still going to work just fine. Okay, so, and then we'll cut it out. Sure. Yikes. There we go. Okay, so engraves it, cuts it out. And how long is it going to take? 15 minutes, okay? That's not too bad. But all these weird little movements, right? And so we can get rid of some of these movements. So what are we at? 942 in rapids, 1537 altogether, okay? There's also, whoops, not that one. There we go, the blue one, the blue layer. There's also fill shapes individually. So it's going to go around, and instead of like all these at once, like the whole group, it's going to find each shape. That also means the eye is two shapes. So you got the bottom of the eye and the top of the eye. Those are separate shapes. So now we're at 1537. We're at 1303. So we saved a tiny bit of time. We turned down our rapid moves to only 3 minutes and 11 seconds, but because there's acceleration, deacceleration, it went way up. So let's say it was one of my fancier machines. Let's go to machine settings and actually change that out. Oh, won't show it in here. Edit, whoops, don't want to do that one. Edit, device settings. And G-code, additional settings. Here we go. Okay. Whoa, that's slow. Okay, our maximum speed for most of my machine is 18,000. Acceleration over here is, oh, for X, I see. Okay, acceleration is usually 30, what would that be, 3,500. Engrave, yeah, I'm still going to keep it at 3,500. That's weird. That has that option. Y, max speed is usually 12,000 on my machines. Acceleration is closer to 2,400 on the Y-axis. And same thing for the Y engrave. Okay, rapid speed. That's weird. Okay, let's do 18,000. I guess, I don't know. Let's go 10,000. It's asking me. I'll go slower. Corner accuracy, sure. Minimum corner speed. Okay. All right, hit OK. Now let's look at it. There we go. Okay, so now that my machine settings are actually in there, it can calculate it better. And it's got way less cut distance time, right? Because it can actually accelerate and move. And, yeah, the rapid moves are also a little shorter because it can move fast. So we're at 8 minutes and 3 seconds. But, again, we can try flood fill on this. It might not look as good. Okay, so let's look at this. We're at 803. I want to change this to just fill all shapes at once. So from 803 to 946. Not a huge difference, right? Because this thing is fast now, right? We got our speeds in there. So yours might not be this fast. So you might have to fiddle around with it. You can also go edit, device settings, additional settings, and read from controller. And it can pull your speed settings from your controller itself. Okay. let's look at one more thing. So right now, we're at 946. We were down to like 803, right? Hit OK with fill shapes individually. Yeah, 803. So let's do one more setting. Let's try that flood fill. Hit OK. And we're at 729. Not a huge change, but definitely a difference in quality. You'll see. Hit OK. So what I would do here then is turn off flood fill, and I'd still just fill all shapes at once. Okay, so that's typical engraving, right? Let's look at one more thing. Okay, so let's say I have something huge to do, right? Okay, so here's my cut area. I have, welcome, and then let's say home. Okay, we have that, but because we're artsy fartsy, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's see, what are we doing here? We're doing this and this. Okay, so now that we're artsy fartsy, let's get that tilted right. There we go. Grab that corner, put it here. Okay, we're going to union these two. There we go. And then let's make that a little skinnier. And union those two. Cool, we got a little house. Almost. Let's put a door on it. So let's see, there's a door with, let's see, one. Oh, we're going to have to use the array tool to get this accurate. Okay, let's array that here. So let's do this and this. And bring them a lot closer. There we go. So we're at 15. And sure, 15. Call that good. Take these, group them, set them to the center. There we go. And then hold shift, bring them up. Okay. We got a door. Let's union that. All right. Door goes somewhere. I don't know where. Okay. And we'll make this all an engrave. So there's tons of space now that needs to be engraved, right? Make this an engrave. Let's make that a little smaller. Okay, we're going to get cornier. We're going to get 2% cornier here. Okay, do this, do an outline. Let's do it like that. Okay. Let's do this. And that over. See, and then we need 1 and 2. Okay, grab these two. Hey, there we go. Okay, take all that and union it. Oh, just fuse it. Okay, there's my ugly key. Okay, welcome home. So lots of skipping, but tons of engraving area, right? So this one will be simple, right? They'll say welcome. Let's lock it to the center. There you go, and then let's pull it down. Let's take this. Also lock it to the center. There we go, and then pull it up. Oh boy. Okay, this is going to be a weird, ugly welcome card here. Okay, very off center. Okay, so here's my, we also got to corner it because we believe in fancy things. Okay, we're not monsters. Radius that, radius that. Okay. So made the dorky little home with all the stuff, right? Welcome home, hooray. So let's take a look at this right now. If we were to engrave this. Okay. 22 minutes, 48 seconds, that's not too bad. Okay. But it's also going to be really dark, all this stuff. It's going to look like a divot. It'll show the shape, but it's not going to look so hot. So what we can do here is open up this, and let's do a fill plus line. Okay. And instead of a line interval of 0.1, we're going to go every millimeter a line. Do a crosshatch, so it's going to go up and down. Okay, with the line afterwards, let's see. So we're engraving at 120 speed, 50 power. Line after is, let's say, 150 speed, 100 power. That way it's a little darker on the outside. Hit OK. We went from 22 minutes to 6 minutes. There we go. And yeah, it's just, so right here it looks like this crosshatch. It actually turns out really cool looking. So instead of being like this big divot, it's this deep dark pattern that shows up, except for where the wood shows, right? So you get nice wood grains. You get the continuation of wood grains through the pattern. Well, it has a pattern over it. And then, yeah, it just goes, it looks, I don't know, it's a cool effect. One of my fellow Makerspace members showed me this. But we went from 22 minutes to 6 minutes, 12 seconds by changing the infill pattern, basically, here. So, I mean, if we wanted it like a little more dense, we could make it like 0.5. And that's going to, what is that, 4 times as much? 2 times the time in X and 2 times in Y. So, well, I guess we're at 1031. That's not bad. But it still makes a cool little effect here. And now we're much more filled in. So, even if we're double dense, we went from 22 minutes to 1031. And it's going to look great. So, that's how I deal with, like, big areas of stuff. Anyways, hope this answers you. Hope this helps anybody else out. That's my suggestion for speeding things up. Thanks for watching, guys.